Hello and welcome back to Football Scrutiny. Today we're going to be taking a look at the goals from the game between Chelsea and Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Horrendous defending from Chelsea. We're going to be taking a look at the goals today. Stick around and we'll tell you how the goals were scored and who was making the mistakes. Here we're just going to take a look at the first goal. With the ball in the middle of the pitch, it's about to be cleared into the Chelsea half after a Chelsea clearance, and I'm just highlighting the three centre-backs from Chelsea, Rudiger, Christensen and Azpilicueta. When this ball's being cleared, those two centre-backs have to try and get into line with their other centre-back, Azpilicueta, as quickly as possible. This wasn't the reason for the first goal, but I'm just highlighting the fact that they need to be pushing out as a group, as a back three as quick as possible and not to leave any gaps available for players to run into, because here if the ball goes over Azpilicueta's head, there's an opportunity for that striker to run in behind him. When the ball now does get cleared towards Azpilicueta, the back three has had its time to then get back into position, but Azpilicueta now has slipped. There's now a 3 against 3 situation in that zone, and so as a result, as Azpilicueta is on the floor, those two centre-backs need to wait for help. Here we've got Reece James and Marcos Alonso on the way back. So they just need to wait. That 3 against 3 would then become more of a 6 against 3 if they can wait for those two wing-backs and also a defensive midfielder to get back in. But as Azpilicueta's on the floor, it's potentially a 3 against 2 situation with numerical inferiority in the middle of the pitch. So there's those two centre-backs and the 3 Bayern Munich players. And those two centre-backs, as Azpilicueta is still recovering from that slip, those two centre-backs need to wait for those other 4 players to get back in and create a 6 against 3 with numerical superiority in the middle of the pitch. All they need to do is hold their positions, drop back with that striker, don't let that striker get into the space behind your back. This is the moment that Christensen made a mistake. He just holds his position when he should be dropping back with Rudiger, and by doing that he allows this pass to come in behind his back. Not only that, but also this pass into here is available, and with Christensen out of the picture there's a potentially 2 against 1 situation with Rudiger. He shouldn't be holding his position there, he should be dropping back with Rudiger. Azpilicueta is now recovered and able to put pressure on, wait for the other 4 players to get back and defend in a compact position. So here we can see that ball's now been played through and Christensen's still out of position, and now Rudiger is 2 against 1 in inferiority inside the penalty area. This striker can now either take a shot straight at goal or pull it across like he does for a simple tap-in. That's what he chose, ball across, simple tap-in, 1-0 down in the Champions League last 16. Poor defending from Christensen and Rudiger left there exposed. When the ball's passed back to the goalkeeper here, Mason Mount jumps out to press. And Reece James there is just going to start thinking about jumping out onto the fullback, when perhaps he should just be maintaining his position, allowing Azpilicueta not to jump out. Because if Azpilicueta now jumps out, then you've got a problem there with Christensen, who's there 1 against 1 with the striker, and on the opposite side, you've now got Alonso, who's not only got his player, but a potential 3 against 2 on that side. When the ball is cleared forward, Azpilicueta has challenged for the ball and he's lost out on that aerial battle. He should be winning it. Now Christian's got a decision to make. Does he hold his position? Does he jump out or does he go with the runner? For me, he should be holding his position, wait for Azpilicueta to get back in and go with the runner, and then if he doesn't have time to get to the runner, then Christensen should engage and Azpilicueta cover him. He doesn't hold his position and both players go towards the ball at exactly the same time. Christensen, for me now, should be jumping back into this area here to defend the middle of the goal, as should Rudiger, as should Alonso. In fact, what actually happens is Rudiger does get into this position, Alonso also does get into that position, because there are 2 players moving in to the second post, or into the middle of the penalty area. So that's 2 against 2 in the middle of the area. Christensen needs to cover this position and wait for players to get back. This is the moment here that you start to realise they've made a mistake, but Christensen not holding his position and coming out, Azpilicueta hasn't had time to make his recovery run Kovacic has also not had time to make a recovery run, and therefore there's not only 2 against 2 on the opposite side of the pitch, but also any pass into this area here behind Christensen. If Christensen didn't jump out, there would be a 3 against 3 there in the area. You could wait, stay compact and wait for support, but he doesn't. He jumps out and he allows a pass to come in behind him and therefore create a 3 against 3 situation in the middle of the goal. Here's the 3 against 3 situation where Rudiger now has had to abandon the 2 against 2 in the middle of the pitch and jump out and not only try to prevent a shot but also prevent a cross coming across where there's a 2 against 1 situation in the middle of the goal. Impossible for Rudiger due to the fact that Christensen made a terrible decision, Azpilicueta makes a lazy recovery run, and Kovacic was unaware to be able to get back in at the same time. Poor from Chelsea, and Rudiger being made the scapegoat for some poor defending. The Chelsea defending horror show continues with the third goal. Here with the back four now, I'm highlighting that there's a 4 against 3 situation in the Chelsea half. Should be solid enough. Any ball that comes into here, 4 against 3. You've also got 2 defensive midfielders there in Kovacic and Jorginho, so it should be stable. Here Reece James needs to be winning that ball and not letting it escape. He's strong enough to knock over the Bayern Munich player, but he needs to be winning that ball completely. The ball breaks 3 and it's the Bayern Munich player that jumps in between those 3 Chelsea players now and takes the ball forward. So at this moment here, that player's run from that red circle all the way now into the zone with Christensen, and Christensen is now going to engage. For me, the logical thing is a few things. 1, Christensen needs to slow that player down and wait for support from his fellow teammates. 2, Alonso on the opposite side at the top of the pitch needs to be closing the gap with Rudiger now. Not waiting. You're not a wing back anymore. You're now a left back. Okay, so now that the ball has gone past Christensen, Christensen has missed the tackle. He's dived in needlessly, and he's even taken out Reece James. Reece James has to jump over the top of him to be able to join in with the defence. And look at the distance that I've highlighted now with Alonso. Alonso's really far away. Rudiger's 1 against 1 in the middle of the pitch with a striker about to dribble into the area. Rudiger is in the worst position possible now because he's again a 2 against 1 situation in front of the penalty area with Alonso miles away and Christensen out of the game and Reece James out of the game. So at this moment here, once he's come into the penalty area, Rudiger has correctly held his position in front of the Bayern Munich player, but it's got to a point now where he has to go to engage. Hoping that his teammate Alonso has made up the distance which he should have made up earlier, but with his lazy defending gets in too late, and with the ball now in this zone, Christensen nowhere near the play, by the way, nowhere near the play. Rudiger has to come out, doesn't get there, and a little ball in behind, and the Bayern Munich player is just able to get in a simple tap in, all because Christensen's terrible defending, Alonso's terrible defending, and Rudiger left completely on his own for the second time in the game to try and defend a 2 against 1 situation in his own penalty area. Hopefully you enjoyed this analysis, and we'll see you again soon for more analysis coming here on Football Scrutiny.